the reason why I was able to survive poverty. He's the reason why I have my health and strength. He is the reason why this is a blessed and prosperous land. And he is the reason why when folks shoot arrows at me, they bounce right off. They're not hitting my back, they're hitting his arm. I want to make that plain right now. I want to make it plain right now. I'm not the one being attacked. I'm not. They're attacking his authority.
Amen.
They're attacking what he has created.
Yes.
I'm not the one being attacked. They're attacking his word.
Photos are awful.
They're attacking my ability and my freedom
Just something.
to share his word and his truth. So we thank him first and foremost. All right, so let's get right into this. What are we going to talk about? I've been in this a little bit.
That's good.
WRL doesn't like me so much. Guess what? I don't care. I don't like them either. I don't like them either. Let me make this plain right now because
It's bigger. Yeah.
you know, I think it's a problem. When folks sit on the left-hand side, I think before you can be a leftist, you have to have earplugs. Because I don't think they can hear. And what they do here, I don't think they understand. So let me say this again. This is the United States of America.
Yeah.
It is a constitutional republic.
Yeah.
Our underpinnings are a democratic process, i.e. voting. We live by a rule of law known as the United States Constitution.
Whoa, yeah.
As an elected official, I am sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States and of North Carolina. And I will do that for everyone. I don't care what you do at home. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. I don't care how you identify. I will protect your constitutional rights. If it costs me my life, I will protect your constitutional rights to be who you are, call yourself as you choose, and be secure in your own person. But here it is. I'm not going to sit silent while you put pornography in our schools. To go down to the schoolhouse and present pornographic film. Let me say that word again. Film to children. You do not have a right to do that. Not a moral right do you have. Not a political right. Not a constitutional right. This whole thing started. I knew exactly where it was coming from and why. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody's rights. It doesn't have anything to do with necessarily just with me. It's about all of us. It's about all of us. It's about a disposition of what's right. Literally. Not what's on the right. What is right.
Yes.
So you have this fellow down in Charlotte whose name I won't mention because, quite honestly, he's only using all this and using me to boost up his failing Senate campaign. He can't find enough followers and friends on Facebook, so he has to mention Mark Robinson so he can get some more friends and some more followers. Unfortunately, many of those friends and followers are people who can't stand him. And actually like me. So he will remain nameless, but in his district there are these books. He is calling for my resignation. Roy Cooper, who, by the way, is actually a politician who has violated your constitutional rights, i.e. when he told you you could not assemble and go to church during COVID, is calling for my resignation. Josh Stein, our illustrious Attorney General, who does not do his job because of politics, is calling for my resignation. But here it is. Not one of them, not Governor Cooper, not this guy down in Charlotte, not the Attorney General, the top law official in this state. None of them has spoken up against this pornography in our schools. What does that tell me? They can tolerate pornography in the schools, but they can't tolerate a conservative voice that's calling it out. You know, I plan on seeing Governor Cooper next month at the council state meeting. And I plan to ask him directly to his face. I know you don't like me, but do you like me so little that you're willing to overlook this pornography in our schools?
Yeah.
And if so, what does that say about you? Not as a governor, but as a man. What does that say about you? I said the same thing to Josh Stein. You are supposed to be following the laws of this state and this nation. Last time I checked, child pornography is illegal. Sounds like you need to pull up a billboard to find out who put those books in school. Or maybe you need to do an investigation. Or maybe you need to get with our Attorney General at the national level. And the two of you can investigate how child pornography weaseled its way into our schools. And then you can start looking for the people who are sending me vile, racist, threatening text messages and emails and voicemails. Like to see that happen. See, because these people think that because I have deeply held religious beliefs that I'm proud to espouse, that somehow I can't be fair in my administration of government. Folks, that's not the truth. But I'm going to tell you what is the truth. On the other side, they have deeply held political convictions that keeps them from doing their job while they're in office. Roy Cooper's political convictions are the convictions that caused him to violate your constitutional rights and shut down your church and your small business.
Right.
Josh Stein's political convictions caused him to put up billboards and search for people who went up to Washington, D.C. on January 6th. But he was as silent as a church mouse while Raleigh was on fire.
Right.
And he's not looking for any of the people that were involved in that riot. You see how this works? Do you see how it works? This whole thing stinks of hypocrisy. It's not just about the pornography in the schools, and right now that is the main issue. Guys, here it is. We spend half of our state budget on education in this state. Half, nearly half. And we are failing to teach our children to read. Think about that. Almost half of the resources that we take in, the revenue that we take in this state, is spent on the education bureaucracy.
Buying votes.
And the education bureaucracy, you can hold that again if you want to. The education bureaucracy is failing at its primary mission. I sit in school board meetings month after month and listen to the words equity, 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 equity. Quality, 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 quality. I'm just sitting there thinking, when are we going to start talking about education?
Yeah. Thank you.
There is a crisis in education right now.
Yeah.
Our children can't read. They're killing each other in the classroom. They're beating each other in the classroom. You know, the last council state meeting I was at, someone mentioned that the governor was concerned about the, and yeah, I'm imitating. I'm imitating. He was concerned about the violence that's being threatened against the school board. The violent messages that they're receiving. Now, I actually haven't seen any. If you'd like to see some violent messages, you can go to WRAL, because we played a few of them at our press conference the other day. I haven't heard from him on that issue.
No.
But he was talking about these soccer moms, these dads, going down to the school board, giving the school board the what for, because the school board is trying to fill their children's minds with a bunch of pornography and not teaching them to read and teaching them to hate this country. Spreading ideologies like CRT. Because they're doing that now, the Attorney General has come out and said, we got to call out the FBI. And the governor of this state is now joining in, chiming in. My question is this. When has the governor spoke up about the rash of violence that's currently plaguing our schools?
Yeah.
When has the governor spoken up about the fact that too many of our children, far too many of our children, can't read on a grade level? All the apparent issues that are facing our schools right now, the pornography, the illiteracy, the violence, the governor turns a blind eye. And why is he turning a blind eye? Because of his political beliefs. His political beliefs are allowing him and Josh Stein to turn their back on what's wrong in this state. My religious beliefs And my political beliefs have me dead center on what's supposed to be right in this state and how to fix what's wrong with it. Absolutely despise it. Our office is the only entity in this state that has stood up to this stuff. The only one. The very first one that should have been on should have been the Attorney General. And again, because of his political beliefs, he's as silent as a church mouse. He has not said anything about this pornography that's being displayed in our schools. And let's just go ahead and get this out of the way too. All these teachers unions and people on Facebook saying, well, that's not any part of our curriculum. And it's not a problem because it's not part of our curriculum. Well, here it is. If crack cocaine is not a problem, it's not part of the curriculum, but it's on your playground, you need to get rid of it. I don't care where this material is. I don't care if it's in the library, the hallway, the classroom, in some kid's locker, in some teacher's car. It needs to go, and it does not need to be disseminated to our students. The fact that these politicians, because of their political beliefs, are turning a blind eye, it is literally damaging the soul of this state. And on that subject, here we go. Here we go. Not only is this about this pornography in our schools, not only is it about this hypocrisy that we see from the left, but it's about something else too. And that something else is called religious liberty. Now look, you can go down to the schoolhouse and put genderqueer in the library and then recommend it to children to go down to the library and check out. If you can sit your 5th grade students down and read them George and read to them about some imaginary kid who wants to remove his genitalia so he can become a girl. If you want to preach the so-called gospel of transgenderism to children in the classrooms that you pay for against your will, then it is okay for me to go into my church and preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, and you better sit silent and like it, because I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to continue to proclaim the truth of Jesus Christ, no matter who likes it. I don't care. You know this guy, I think WRNO, ABC 11 said, well, you never stop being the lieutenant governor. Look here, eventually, I'm going to stop being the lieutenant governor. It's a good possibility that eventually I might stop being the governor.
Yeah.
It's a definite possibility that at some point in my life I'll stop being an elected official. But guess what? I will never stop being for all eternity. I will never stop being a Christian. When you step into office, and if you do, you were never a Christian to begin with. If you can't stand for the Lord Jesus Christ who has given you your freedom, you might as well sit down. So, I say to all my opponents out there, all the people who don't like me, who hate me because you read a newspaper, who say that I despise gay people, say that I despise transgender people, I say this: you don't know me. And it doesn't matter if you know me. Because here it is, at the end of the day, you don't get to make the decision on where I go when I leave here. You don't get to make that decision. You get to go push a button to decide whether or not I go in the governor's mansion, or whether I can return to being lieutenant governor or any other elected official. But you don't get to determine where my soul goes.
Amen.
Same way I don't get to determine where anybody else's soul goes. Which is why I don't judge people's souls. But I can certainly judge actions, Roy Cooper. Who doesn't have a moral leg to stand on. How in the world are you calling for me to resign over some moral issue when you wouldn't sign the bill to save babies that have survived an abortion? You're just fine with the most innocent life on earth struggling for breath on the table. You're fine with that child dying. You hold your head proud while you vetoed that bill. How can you say you have a moral leg to stand on when in the midst of a pandemic, when people needed to congregate with each other for the love of Jesus Christ more than any time in my lifetime. You shut down the place where they do it.
Dang.
These people that we're fighting, folks, they're not fighting me. Let's get out of the brass tacks. They're not fighting me. They're not trying to silence me. They're trying to silence you. They weren't trying to silence Donald Trump. They're trying to silence you. They're trying to take a brick back and walk me upside the head and shut me up so that you can look and say, hey, look, they assaulted, they told the lieutenant governor they shut him down. He's the lieutenant governor of the state. What do you think they'll do to me as a small business owner or a soccer mom? I better be afraid. I can go ahead and tell you like this. It's going to take a whole lot more than a bunch of trucked-in screaming weirdos to get me to resign. You can say anything you want to say about me, but you cannot deny the truth that I have told. And the truth that I have told is this. There's pornography in our schools. You're either for it or against it. And if you're for it, you're no friend of mine. That's truth number one. Truth number two, I am not going to be intimidated by anybody. If you want to know why, I'm going to show you something. When I was a scared little 5-year-old, I was scared of everything. I'm not scared anymore because I know who's behind me. That's truth number two. And here's truth number three. Truth number three is this. People in this country are tired. The people of this country, we're tired. We're tired. We're tired of being browbeaten. We're tired of being told we're wrong at every turn. We're tired of getting up every day, going to work, doing our jobs, doing what's right, trying to follow the rules. And at every turn, we get kicked in the teeth. We're tired of watching criminals commit acts of violence on the street, and then when they do, they don't go after the criminals' guns, they come after your guns. We're tired of having our pocket picked at the state and federal level so folks can pay for social programs that are failing and bringing this country to its knees. We're tired. We're tired of being told that somebody else is going to make our medical decisions for us. We're tired of seeing funny things go on with our votes. You keep asking me, do you think Joe Biden won? No. Unfortunately, he won. The question is, how did he win? The bigger question is, how do we prevent it in the future?
Yeah.
We're tired. We are sick of it. We're not going to take it anymore. You know, we got this whole thing, this politic thing. One of the things that discouraged me about the Republican Party many years ago was nobody wanted to fight. Nobody wanted to stand up, declare what was right. Nobody wanted to stand up and declare the truth. I'm here to tell you today, there's a new day in the Republican Party. We will not back down. We will not shut up. We will not shrink in the face of assault. We will mount up with the wings of eagles, and we will move forward to preserve freedom in this nation. Because here it is. The reason why this nation stands together today is because of the Republican Party. The reason why freedom reigns in this nation today, and it's not divided by free or slave, is because of the Republican Party. The reason why women have the right to vote in this country is because of the Republican Party. The reason why Jim Crow was smashed was because of the Republican Party. And the reason why life will be preserved and freedom along with it is because of the Republican Party. Guys, you got to be emboldened, you got to be strong, you got to be unafraid, because we're fighting the good fight for our Father in heaven who gave us our freedom. Don't back down, don't shut up, don't relent, don't give in. Let's take the fight directly to them and tell them, not today, Satan, not ever, Satan. This is the United States of America.